Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Maker's Gonna Learn YouTube channel. I am so excited to be bringing you this video because I get to teach you how to make a cake topper, which has been super highly requested, but also it's not just any cake topper. It's a shaker cake topper that's full of glitter and it's gonna be amazing. So let's get into it. Here are all the supplies that I'm gonna use to make my shaker cake topper today. And here are all of the cardstocks that I've picked out. I have a variety of glitter cardstock and plain cardstock, and they're all about a 65 to 80 pound weight on them. You might be able to guess the theme of the cake topper from these colors. And then to support the cake topper, I have these very skinny dowels that I got at the craft store, and they'll be linked below so you can know what thickness they are. Okay, this one is kind of funny, but I'm using the top of an old Cricut mat here, the clear protector from it, and you'll see what we do with this in a little bit. I also have some scissors, and these ones are super cute and tiny, and some foam tape. This is from the dollar store actually, so that's awesome. I have a spoon, some glitter, I have my Scotch ATG gun, my Lynn Lily hot glue gun, a Cricut mat, and of course my Cricut. All right, now let's jump into the actual project in Design Space. All right, so here we are in Design Space, and here are the two files that I'm going to be using. And by the looks of this, you probably think like, what am I making? But one of my favorite things to do is to manipulate cut files to make exactly what I want without actually having to design it. Like I don't have to make new cut files. I can use the Maker's Gonna Learn cut files that are amazing and tweak them to be used in the exact way that I want to use them. So over here I have this mermaid Santa suit cut file for Maker's Gonna Learn, and I am going to over here hide the white layer and the black layer, and then with this layer selected I'm going to contour out the Santa hat. So now I just have a mermaid tail, and I am going to use this in my cake topper design. And then from this I wanted a seashell, and I found a seashell exactly like I wanted, except it was in this cut file which says jingle shells, and I don't want any of that, and I only want one of these seashells. So I'm going to slice out this exact seashell. That is what I want. So I'm going to do this, and then I just cover the design. And so I'm just over here covering the design. So what I do is I use these shapes to cover the part of the design that I want to use. And I make sure I'm only covering that part. And now since I'm using two shapes to cover it, I will select both of these and I will weld them together. Then I'll select that weld result and the original cut file and slice them apart. It looks like over here that jingle shells is a different part of the cut file. So now I know that I just need to select weld result and the seashells, and then click slice. And it'll let me do that because I only had two layers selected. Now I can delete all of these extra pieces and use just this. Now for the cake topper, the other element that I would like to use is a number to celebrate a birthday. So I'm going over here to text, and I'm going to add the number 6 in the font Fishy Wishy, which is a Maker's Gonna Learn font that is super cute and totally mermaid inspired. So now I have the three elements that I'd like to build my cake topper out of. Next, let's use these files and get closer to the exact design that we would like. So I want the seashell to be pretty prominent, and I would like this mermaid tail to kind of peek out behind here. And I'm just going to manipulate this until it looks how I would like. So I'm gonna size it up and keep turning it to be where I want it. So now I'm just moving this around and turning it and making it look how I want it to look. This is looking pretty good to me, and now I need to work on my number. I am sizing this how I think I would like it to be sized. I'm going to take this and stretch it and make it a little bit bigger. We want that to be a little bit more prominent on our cake topper. And now this is the general design, but it is looking rough, let me tell you. I think you already know. I don't really have to tell you that. One of the main problems is all of these layers on top of each other and you can't really distinguish them. And Cricut has a great tool to fix this. It's called offset. So with my 6 selected, I'm going up to offset right here in the menu bar. I'm going to click that and then I'm going to scale this down. You can see this faint blue line around it. That is where the offset will be. So then I want to make it a little bit smaller here. That looks pretty good to me. So then I'm going to click apply. Now we're already starting to see some more definition. And at this point, I want to see my design come to life more with color. So I know that I don't want my mermaid tail to be red. I'd like it to be purple. So I'm going to select it and change the color to purple. So for my number 6, I would like to use the green and glitter green cardstock. So I'm going to change these to be some green colors. These colors that you're picking here don't have to match your cardstock exactly. It's just giving you an idea, and when you get to the mat, it'll remind you what color paper to put on your mat. So these aren't the exact colors, but they're close enough and give me that idea that I'm going to be using green cardstock for the 6. Now let me show you one other thing when it comes to this 6. I'm going to go over here to the layers panel and select both of these items over here, and I'm going to click up here and click duplicate. I want to explain something that I'm going to do here. So let's move this aside. I do not want to be placing all of these teeny tiny pieces of cardstock in the exact right spot. I would rather do this. I'm going to take both of these elements together, select them, and slice them. Now you'll see what happens. We still have that, but now we have this, which this is one piece, and I can just put glue on this and glue it to the original offset. So I can get rid of this, all of these, I don't need them anymore. I'm going to take this and make it that darker green color, and then I can layer these on top of each other so much more easily. So now that I have this, it looks pretty good, but I need one more offset. I'm going to select this whole thing, go up to offset, and still again, I'm looking at that offset layer. This is just, I think it's perfect how it is, so I'm gonna click apply. And now there's an offset, but look, you can see through here. I am going to, with only this selected in the layers panel, go to contour and click hide all contours. This will make our offset be a solid piece. Now again, I'm using the colors so that I can figure out exactly what my design is gonna look like when I make it. And I want that background to be light blue, definitely not black. So this is looking how I want it. Now I want to simplify my design just a little bit more. So I'm going to select this seashell layer and go down to the handy dandy contour tool at the bottom. I'm going to contour out these little tiny accents because I just don't need those, especially since we're going to add glitter. If you don't want to make your cake topper into a shaker one, you could be done now and cut each of these out of paper. But I need to do one more step since I do want mine to be a shaker. I need to take this layer, which is where we want the glitter to be contained in all of these separate little cutouts. So I'm going to take this and click duplicate. I need one of these to go behind this seashell and be clear and contain all of the glitter. So you guessed it, we're gonna use the contour tool again. And this time I'm gonna click hide all contours. Now I have a seashell without all the details. And I'm gonna make this gray to represent my clear transparency. I'm going to cut out this shape from the Cricut mat topper. All right, now all that's left to do is size this. So I'm going to select all of this and make it 6 inches tall. We were pretty close anyways, but 6 inches tall is a pretty good height for your cake topper. Now all that's left to do is click make it And you're going to follow these prompts to have your Cricut cut out each shape. You'll click continue down here, connect to your Cricut, and set your material. Usually in my projects, I'm cutting the same material over and over again on separate mats, but this time I have a bunch of different cardstocks and that clear transparency. So it's gonna be really important to look over here and realize what you want to cut out, and then browse these materials for those settings specific to that material. Now our first one is going to be the Cricut mat cover that we're cutting. So I am just gonna search transparency and see what comes up. I'm going to click this, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit extra pressure. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that out. So I'm gonna load my materials in and just have them cut on the right settings for each one of those. All right, so look at all of these fun different pieces that the Cricut cut out. I just love my Cricut and working with cut files. It makes me so happy because Cricut literally did all of the hard work for us, and that is just what Cricut is here to do. And Maker's Gonna Learn is here to give you all of the cut files you need to make amazing things like this. And well, really to have your Cricut make them for you is how I feel about it. All right, so let me just show you what we got here. This, I really don't know if you can see it, but I hope you maybe can see it a little bit. This is our Cricut mat cover that we cut, and we are going to glue this onto here, and we're going to glue this onto here. And now you can definitely see what I meant by not having to glue each one of these things. It's just two pieces that we have to glue together there, and then we have our mermaid tail and our backer. Now let's talk about adhesives. I did include this in the supply list, the Scotch ATG gun. We love this thing and I'll be using it, but what I forgot in my supply list was this Zig 2-way glue pen. And then when I went into Design Space and realized how intricate my cuts were, I knew that I was going to need this because you're never gonna get in all of these spots with your ATG gun, or especially this one. So that is why you need a Zig 2-way glue pen. So we'll start with the easiest one here. And this is the mermaid tail. And I'm just going to use the ATG gun to attach this down to our base layer. And with the offset, you can pretty much tell where it needs to go. So you just want to line it up before you press it down completely. And just like that, now it's in the right spot. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a piece of scrap paper to glue these up. All right, so on the back of this paper, I'm gonna flip this over and I'm going to add glue on the back of this. It's as easy as sketching something out. It goes on so great. And if you are a paper crafter and don't have a Zig 2-way glue pen, you are missing out. It is a game changer. I've been using this for years for any kind of intricate cuts like these that you have to glue. You're going to be sure to get in all of the little spots so that you have a high quality finished project. All right, and now I'm going to glue this on top of my film. I wish you could see it a little bit better. Honestly, it's kind of hard to see in person. Okay, and once it's in the right spot, we'll just press it down until it's stuck. Now we're going to do the same thing to glue our 6 together. This, I'm just kind of using it in a dotting motion to get some on these little pieces right here. I'm not going to be as specific as the seashell. I just want it to grab in some of these spots. And then on these outer pieces, I will definitely make sure I cover all of the surface area. And then we'll glue this down to our shimmery 6. Just apply some pressure to make sure it's stuck down everywhere. And there we have that. All right, now to make it a shaker card, I have this and I have this foam adhesive. This is the key element, this and the clear plastic to making shaker elements, either shaker cards or cake toppers or anything like that. So what you want to do is take a little piece of this and then cut it down the center because this is too thick for how intricate our design is. So you just want to cut it in half. So you're going to take teeny tiny pieces like this and shape them with your design all the way around the outside to create this edge. All right, and as you can tell, I'm making sure to not leave any gaps in between because you need the glitter to be contained in here. If you have a hole like right here that I'm going to fill in, the glitter will fall out. So it's very important not to have any holes at all. I'm using some of my bigger pieces and then I'm going to go back in and fill in these smaller parts, and where I might need to cut some off, I'm just going to trim it and then use this somewhere else, like right here. Every once in a while you might want to flip it over and make sure that you can't see the foam. Like right here, it went past the edge of the paper, so then I could see that. So I'm just being careful to not make that happen and to move that piece back where I can't see it. And not all shaker cards have to be this intricate. If you had a less intricate design, you wouldn't have to worry as much about making these so super tiny. So that might be better for a beginner. But hey, we're almost done here. I just have 1 or 2 spots to go back and fill in. All right, so now that I have all of that and I've checked to make sure there's no holes that glitter can fall out of, I've grabbed my spoon and my glitter. So I've opened this up and I'm just gonna take the spoon and kind of spoon it here in the center of my design. So as I'm spooning this in, I'm being kind of careful to keep it towards the center of my design because some of the backers have fallen off or moved a little bit, so I don't want glitter to get stuck to that foam tape. I need that foam tape to stick to my paper back. I'm adding a lot of glitter because I want this to be super sparkly, but you can add just as much or as little as you want. And so with that in there, now it's time to pull off the backers here. You want to do this carefully so that you aren't moving it around a lot and then the glitter starts moving too. The glitter I chose to use is a mix of chunky and fine glitter. I definitely recommend at least a mix of chunky and fine, but the chunkier the better really for these. If you do only fine glitter tends to stick to the film or the transparency more. And that's just not the look that you generally want to get with a shaker card or cake topper or something like that. You can also buy these really cool like clay pieces to put in the middle, and those are really fun depending on your theme and what you want it to look like. But for this mermaid theme, I was super happy with just having this blue glitter in here. And you want to make sure when you take the backings off that you take them out. Don't put them in with the glitter or you'll see them in your finished product. Okay, I'm almost done. I have 2 more. This one won't come off. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to keep this how it is and bring in this backing piece with the mermaid tail. And now I'm going to do my best to line it up centered in this seashell here. And then just press from the back, and you're sealing all of that glitter inside of that pocket. Now flip it over, and you can see all the glitter inside of this seashell. And all we have left to do is add this 6. I could use ATG here, or I can use some more foam adhesive and pop it off, which is what I'm going to choose to do. This I thankfully don't have to cut into as small of sections, so I can just take some big chunks of it to give it lots of dimension and be pretty sturdy. I'm going to use a lot of this. And then you'll just peel this backing off and add it on here. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place the 6 down where I think it should go. Now all that's left to do for this cake topper is to add these little dowels to the back, and this is where the hot glue comes in. You can opt to have 1 stick or 2 sticks. I am gonna use 2 just for some added stability. And I am just going to use my hot glue gun to attach these. And I am going to add just a line of glue at the bottom here, and then add in my dowel. And while it is drying, I'm gonna flip it over to make sure that it's straight, and I'm gonna straighten it up if it's not. So there we go, that's straight. And then I can use that one to make sure that the other one is straight. So I'll go in here and add a strip of glue here and have this right in there. I will just flip it over to make sure that they look straight and even, and look how cute this turned out. And when you shake it, the glitter moves, and because some kind of sticks up at the top, you won't just have all your glitter piling down. Some will get stuck up there, which I think is beautiful when it's on your cake. So what do you think about how this cake topper turned out? I am obsessed with how glittery it is and how fun it was to make. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel so you can see all of the fun videos that we have coming out soon. And if you're not a member of Makers Gonna Learn yet, you should definitely check us out in the links below, because I know you will love the community that we have over there. All right, catch you in the next one. Bye.